Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to the review the other paid request, this time for Aaron Daniel. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for, like I said, Aaron Daniel. He wanted me to review Orange County from 2002. Now, this is a film I actually realized I saw in the theater. Because what happened was, back in the day, I mentioned this, like, after Christmas, once in a while the school would take a class to the movie theater. And I think it was around this time when they took us, and I mentioned with the Mothman Prophecies. That's the film I actually wanted to see, but then the kids were laughing, they're blah 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 blah, and it kind of ruined their experience. One thing I didn't mention was that I actually was able to leave and go to, like, I think where the teachers were. And there was like a few, there was not as many people in there, and it was Orange County. So I'm kind of sitting there and watching like the third act of that film. And it's one of those where, okay, great, so the film I want to watch, I can't watch because everyone's being a jackass. And then now I'm sitting here watching, and it's very nice and quiet, but it's a film I don't really care about. Because, at that point, I'm like, I want to watch the horror movie, the mysterious. By that point, I was into the X-Files, so it felt like an X-Files thing. But I wanted to see that, not, this. But to be fair, I mean, this is a pretty decent movie. It's a very capable, decent film. And you look at the cast, I mean, it stars Colin Hanks, who's the son of Tom Hanks. But you got Jack Black, you got Catherine O'Hara from Home Alone, you got John Lithgow from Cliffhanger and Harry and the Hendersons. Chevy Chase makes an appearance. Harold Ramis, may rest in peace, he makes an appearance. Gary Marshall makes an appearance. Like, decent amount of familiar people. I forgot. Ben Stiller even makes an appearance as a firefighter. Kevin Kline makes an appearance near the third act of the film. In the third act of the film. Now, it's directed by Jake Kasdan. Now, this is a guy that will later on direct those later Jumanji films, which I'm not a fan of. Welcome to the Jungle, The Next Level. I think those films suck. This one I liked a lot more. Maybe because the characters seem a bit more endearing. The story, I thought, it wasn't dumb. It wasn't lowbrow. It wasn't sophomoric. Pretty much Colin Hanks, he loved surfing with his buddies. That's all he cared about. But then one day his friend died in drowning, so he doesn't know what to do. And randomly he finds this book on the beach. It's a book written by this author, which we kind of find out later on is Kevin Kline's character. And that makes him decide to be a writer. So he stops surfing, he gets better grades, and he really wants to get into Stanford, which this writer had been a part of. Jack Black plays his stoner brother. Now, by this point, the only thing I had seen Jack Black in was either an X-Files episode called DPO, which I think was Darren Peter Oswald, I think. That was the kid with lightning, played by Giovanni Ribisi. And also a Saving Silverman ad scene, which that might be a film I saw in the theater as well. I think that might have been the school thing too. Because I think that was a year before this, 2001. And I enjoyed Saving Silverman. I still think it's a fun movie. Steve Zahn and Jack Black worked well together. Yeah, he plays his stoner brother. The mom is played by Catherine O'Hara, who's a bit of a drunk, but she's also a bit eccentric. She doesn't want her kid to leave the nest, so to speak. Chevy Chase has a very brief role as the principal. Lily Tomlin's in the film as his counselor, who put in the wrong transcript, so he doesn't get into Stanford. And he's trying his hardest to get into Stanford, and he's talking to his mom and dad are separated, so he talks to his dad, John Lithgow, who is very much about work, and he's like, if you do this, if you don't do this, I'll eat your face. Like, the cast, the very capable cast definitely helps make this film work. And the film kind of felt refreshing, because usually in these films it's, okay, the kid either doesn't want to leave home, but no, in this case he does. It's the mom who doesn't want him to leave home. The girlfriend character, very likable. I forget the actress's name. But the girlfriend, Colin, she's very likable. She's not weak at all. She's not annoying at all. She's not bitchy at all. Like, this is the girlfriend you would love to have. Very supportive. The teachers are not that smart. Like, they're talking about, movies inspired by Shakespeare, and he mentions Waterworld, among other movies. Now, I wouldn't say this is a laugh-out-loud hilarious film or gut-bustingly funny. This is a film that, again, is just a very decent, capable, easy-going, easy-to-watch film, where, again, the cast really makes the flick work. As him either trying to get into Stanford, talking to his dad, talking to his mom, then people like Gary Marshall would come by to try to state his case as to why he deserves to get in. And then Jack Black comes in out of blue, goes, "Hey, Sean, have you seen my piss?" Because drug test piss. "Have you seen my piss?" But even with that, it doesn't feel too sophomoric or too dumb, and it doesn't go for a lot of cheap jokes. Pretty much it ends up to where Jack Black, Colin Haynes, and Colin Haynes' girlfriend go up to Stanford in order to talk to the dean, played by Harold Ramis. And you got like Jack Black. Again, you think, okay, Jack Black's going to hit on the secretary, and the secretary's going to be like, "Oh, get out of here, you loser," this and that. But it actually works. Or like Harold Ramis, okay, they don't talk to him, but then he accidentally took one of the pills that Jack Black had, so now he feels good. It was fun to see Harold Ramis play that, and I miss Harold Ramis, Ghostbusters, Egon Spangler, Stripes, and it was great to see him in this. He has a bit more to do than Chevy Chase. And that's one thing, is that some of them, like Chevy Chase is very wasted. It's kind of weird that he's only in this like a minute as a principal. I don't know if there's more shot and it was cut out, or if like he did this as a favor, like the other folks. I just felt like, wow. Like, Chevy Chase is in this. He says a couple lines of dialogue, and I was expecting, because it's been a while since I've seen this, probably since that time in the theater. I think I maybe rented it at one point, saw the rest of it, because I didn't see the first half, but it's been, God, it's been 20 years now since this film came out. Jesus. But it's definitely one of those movies that it goes at a good pace. It's not obnoxious, and it hits the funny bone from time to time. Like when John Lithgow, the dad, talks to the mom, Catherine O'Hara, and they kind of bantering back and forth. And John Lithgow says, "So, you have any beer, Coyote Ugly?" I thought that was funny. And like I said, Ben Stiller has a quick appearance as a firefighter. Kevin Kline, he's at Stanford. He enjoyed Colin Haynes' writing, has a nice talk with him, kind of get him on the path where there's a lot of authors that kind of came from not the most ideal place. Doesn't mean you don't have to run away with it. It's okay to be where you are. That if you want to go to Stanford, that's fine, but you don't need Stanford in order to be a better writer. Or, in fact, the people you write about kind of makes your stories interesting, is the people around you. Which is true, because you looked at Catherine O'Hara, you looked at John Lithgow, you looked at Jack Black. Those are pretty interesting characters. And kind of, Colin Haynes accepted his place and where he's at. So it's kind of a sweet story as well. Colin Haynes is one of those that he didn't really go on to have a big career. Like, he'd pop up from time to time, but it's not like he had the career his dad had. And I thought he did fine as the lead. I mean, I wouldn't say I was blown away by him, but I thought he did fine. Direction-wise, not capable enough. I think mainly it's a pretty decent script, and it's the cast that makes the film work. Like I said, it doesn't go into too much of the juvenile stuff. Like I said, it's not gut-bustingly funny, but it's one of those, as I kept watching, okay, I'm kind of waiting for it to be annoying or irritating. It doesn't really go into that. It's a little bit smarter than the average, teen movie, however you want to put it. And yeah, I don't know how this film did when it came out. I know it did get some good reviews, and I can understand why I watch it again. Like I said, I wouldn't say it's a favorite of mine, because it's not tremendously memorable, but it's, you watch it, you have a decent enough time, and then, maybe you watch it again, maybe not, but, can't really say I had a bad time watching it. It worked out rather decent in the... It's one of those films that's kind of hard to review, because I don't really have a lot of issues with the film. Sometimes it's weird, like, yeah, you'll watch a film and you don't really have much issues, but yet you didn't love it, you just liked it. You don't really know why, that difference between like and love. I guess it's like, well, okay, this is... I guess I would say better than I remember, better than I thought it would be. Like I said, I do wish Chevy Chase was used a bit more. I really would love to see more of John Lithgow and Catherine O'Hara together, because I really like their scene together. I wish we could have seen more of them together. I think that would have been a great, strong point of the film. Maybe that's the thing, is that though the side characters are a bit more interesting than the lead, and don't get me wrong, the lead Colin Haynes is fine. It's just that the other, like Catherine and John and Harold Ramis and like, they seem more interesting characters and personalities than the lead. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I think Colin Haynes did fine, but it's kind of like a means to an end. And it makes me wonder, in retrospect, if Steve Zahn, he had done Saving Silverman. If Steve Zahn was the lead, I wonder if that would make a difference. And that'd be interesting to see Steve Zahn. But he's a bit too old for the part. I'm trying to remember who would be the right age for this time period for that. I'd have to look at what actors are at the right age for that. So maybe that's the thing, is that, yeah, these other characters, like John Lithgow is more interesting than the lead, and Catherine O'Hara is more interesting than the lead. Jack Black, a bit more interesting than the lead. Didn't think about that until now. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe because, like, they're more familiar faces, so I just gravitate more towards them than Colin Haynes. But you know how Colin Haynes did fine. And overall, it's a decent movie. Orange Town is a pretty decent film. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.